We survive on PayPal. So if you like the show, please help us out. Stay on the air. Amanda Galbraith is a principal with a whole group of people called Navigator, smart people in Toronto that give advice. She joins me right now because I want her advice on what the federal government should be doing. They spend $25 billion every year on Indigenous people in Canada. And I'm not challenging the $25 billion. Maybe we should spend more. But for $25 billion, you'd think that there'd be clean water, better health care, better education, and people would not be suffering. $25 billion is a lot of money. What's going on? Can't they do it right?
I think what's going on is they have a legacy department there that has built upon itself and metastasized and grown and grown and grown, and all they push paper around as opposed to actually deliver real results for Indigenous Canadians, or Indigenous people, I should say. And like the drinking water is a great example of that. I mean, look at the recommendations that were leveled, right? 7 of the 90 were only done. Like,
not followed.
Yeah, to me, it's atrocious. I would be pissed off if I were Indigenous people in this country, and I think they have every right to be mad.
Well, you look at the federal government. I mean, the report, the Truth and Reconciliation report, had piles of recommendations, good ones. The Prime Minister said, we're accepting them all.
Sure.
And nothing's been done.
Correct, yeah.
Except for spending more money. It's going out the doors and windows, and it's not helping people.
Yeah, very little has been done.
So what do you think? You know government, you know public processes. What should be done?
I think
blow up that building in Ottawa and start over?
I used to work out of that building. I worked in Environment Canada, so we had that department was right above us actually, and it's a monster. I think the problem is that most governments are loath to tackle it and actually get through there and think, is this essential service? Is this something we need to do? Should we rethink how this is structured? Instead, they just throw good money after bad. And we should focus, like at the very least, these communities should have clean drinking water. Like, to me, that is insane. That has an option.
Well, it is insane, and I don't know where all that $25 billion is going, when they can't even get drinking water and they have poor education and poor facilities and poor housing. It boggles the mind. I just want to bring it to people's attention that the federal government doesn't seem to be able to do anything. And we have more than one minister now dealing with it for years.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I find encouraging now is that I think this department was really below the radar for a long time. People didn't pay attention to, which is why it's at $25 billion with no results, right?
Yeah.
It's front page news right now. People are looking and saying, are you doing this? Are you delivering? We're listening to Indigenous people in this country, and hopefully that will actually make a change. Oftentimes in government, when stuff changes, it's because people's eyes are on it. And I think squarely the Canadian public is eyes on the federal government right now saying, are you delivering for these people? What is happening?
Well, we've had ministers there who've been there for 6 years, and some people tell me in the communities that nothing has changed with all this money. So, okay, so it's new political leadership, a new focus, a new public pressure, Amanda?
I think it's public pressure. I think the public has to keep demanding more. I think the public has to keep asking. I think the media have to keep pressure on this government because that's what moves, frankly, the Trudeau government, right, is media scrutiny.
Absolutely. All governments need that, but
yeah.
I mean, I thought we had transparency in this government, didn't we?
Only when it's convenient.
Amanda Galbraith, always a pleasure. Thank you very much. 3 minutes. Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, recently stood up in the House of Commons and prefaced his remarks by saying, and we will only work from the facts, quote, unquote, and then proceeded to lie by saying Britain was in a horrible, horrible third wave, trying to show, in fact, that Canada was not the worst in the world. Britain, though, had vaccines. Canada did not. And this was not reported in the mainstream Canadian media, the media paid for by Justin Trudeau. All of which, I'm telling you, is that it's important to have this 3-minute interview. Please subscribe, ask your friends to subscribe, and press that PayPal thing so we can continue on to bring you the news you otherwise might not know.